Hey everyone, this is David Brown with the migration update for April 23rd, 2022 from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. Today was the first full day of Bird of Prey days, and tomorrow there will be also more events, so stick around to the end of the video if you're interested in more information about that. Overall, today was overcast with moderate to strong east and northeast winds, and overall just not a good day for migration. Just wrong wind direction, felt very cold, so only had a handful of migrants, but there were still a lot of birds around and decent looks, and we had a lot of visitors come out, and I think everyone had a good time. I got out to the park a bit early today and spent a lot of time out at the end of the boardwalk. Here's a male bufflehead. There were quite a few Caspian terns flying around the bay today. I'd say there were at least 20, and Caspian terns are the largest tern species in the world. We had some great looks at this swamp sparrow that was singing near the end of the boardwalk. Here we have a pair of American widgeons. Eventually I moved up to the platform and these 3 bald eagles were perched together down in the marsh. I had a nice look at this purple martin as it went by at eye level. We're continuing to see increasing numbers of double-crested cormorants, or cormorants as most people up here say it. And I'd say we're starting to see a couple hundred every day, and give it another week or so and we'll start seeing thousands of them on good days. Here we have an osprey that was hunting the bay. Here we have a juvenile bald eagle, so born last summer. Even trailing edge of the wing because none of the feathers have been replaced. Dark head, but faded underside because these feathers are almost a year old now. Here we have 4 immature bald eagles that were flying around together. Actually, at one point there was a total of 5, and there were also at least 2 adults. Here we have a female American kestrel. We had a couple of common loons fly over throughout the day. This Caspian tern caught a small fish and was flying around with it, and it was even able to squawk pretty loud even with its mouth full. The light morph rough-legged hawk continues in the marsh. Someday it's going to move on, but so far it's still sticking around. This merlin decided to perch in the nearby tree line for a few minutes. And here's a shot of it as it decided to continue on with its migration. Here we have another juvenile bald eagle, and if I'm not mistaken, it looks like it's beginning to replace these innermost primary feathers. And in the last hour, we completed the falcon trifecta with this nice adult peregrine falcon. If we take a look at the eBird checklist, today I saw 55 species, so a respectable total for a cold, windy day. And if we look at hawk count for our migrant raptor totals, today we had 4 turkey vultures, 2 osprey, 2 northern harriers, 1 sharp-shinned hawk, 2 Cooper's hawks, and 1 kestrel, 1 merlin, and 1 peregrine for a total of 14 migrants today. If we take a look at the forecast for tomorrow, Sunday, the last day of Bird of Prey days, we're looking at intervals of clouds and sun with a high around 60. Although people keep throwing out this number of 80 degrees, it's not going to hit 80 degrees along the lakeshore, I can promise you that. Winds east-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So these are pretty good conditions overall. Sunshine to generate thermals, relatively light winds. Now the main problem will be the fact that the wind will be coming from the northeast, especially in the afternoon. It's going to shift more northeast rather than east-northeast, and it's also going to increase. So I would imagine that tomorrow's the kind of day that a lot of broad-winged hawks will be migrating. But with that wind direction, what it's going to do is push them away from the lake shore. Now, in the morning, the flight may start over the platform, and then if I had to guess, I think the flight will probably settle in over to our left, over the parkway, maybe even at scope distance. But I'm planning to try to stay at the platform for as long as possible, just because it's Bird of Prey Days weekend. I know there's a Hawk Watching 101 class. I know there's probably a lot of people that will come out. So hopefully we'll keep the flight at the platform for as long as possible. But eventually in the afternoon, as those winds increase, it wouldn't surprise me if we lose the flight line farther inland. we might move to Frisbee Hill, and whether or not we pick up a flight line there is questionable. The birds might get pushed in even farther. So if I had to make a prediction for tomorrow, I think that as long as there's a decent amount of sunshine in the morning, which I think there will be, looking at the hourly, I think that the morning flight could be decent in terms of raptors starting to come up probably between 9 and 10 if I had to guess, because of the light winds. We need the thermals to build, and maybe those first couple hours of flight, let's say between 9 and noon, maybe that's when we'll have the flight at the platform. After that, if the winds increase from the northeast, we might lose the flight line. So I would think that the morning will probably be better than the afternoon tomorrow if I had to make a prediction based on the weather forecast that's available. And we're in the time of year we can get big broad-winged flights. We're right in the peak of the adult broad-winged hawk migration. So a day with light winds and sunshine, you can get pretty big broad-wing flights as long as the wind isn't pushing them away from us too much. For Monday, we're looking at rain showers in the morning with numerous thunderstorms in the afternoon, high up near 70, winds west-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So if you look at the hourly, it's actually showing that it won't be rain showers in the morning. So this day could be good. Again, it's a good wind direction, west-southwest, one of the better directions. The forecast, they increased the speed of the winds. Now it's saying 10 to 15 kilometers per hour and 10 to 15 miles per hour, whatever that means, but relatively strong. And I think that as long as we have those decent winds, as long as it's not too gloomy and not raining, we could get a bit of a flight. It's looking like the afternoon when those thunderstorms come through, that may be too much rain and shut things down. But let's keep an eye on Monday. Tomorrow, I'll give the update of what the hourly forecast is looking like. Could be a big flight in the morning, or it might not be. Just depends on how the conditions end up. And for Tuesday, we're looking at cloudy, high around 50, winds west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And that's kind of the theme of this week coming up. It looks like a lot of days with either cloudy or with some sunshine, but relatively strong winds from the west or northwest, which aren't particularly good for seeing huge kettles of broadwings, which prefer light winds. So I would expect a lot of days coming up this week. We'll get a moderate flight. Stuff will be migrating, but it's not those ideal conditions for big kettles of broadwings. But we'll keep an eye on the days as we get closer. And one more reminder about bird of prey days. And let's take a look at the schedule. So for tomorrow, we're looking at programs starting at 10 a.m. with Incredible Hawks Raptors to the Rescue. Meet and greet live raptors from 10 to 2. 10:30, there's a Hawk Watching 101, which will be making a trip out to the platform. Then a program about condors, the Rochester peregrine falcons, native plant fairy garden workshop, and snowy owl rock stars at 2 p.m. So a lot of events going on tomorrow. The hawk migration should certainly be a lot better than it was today. So we'll hope to see a lot of people out at the park tomorrow. And let's go watch some hawks together. All right, that's it for today. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of these daily updates from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. This is David Brown. Thanks for watching.
Good.